Imagine this. You're walking home alone at night, taking a shortcut you've used 100 times before. A dark alley, broken walls, the smell of rain on the asphalt. Then suddenly, you hear footsteps behind you. 3 seconds later, a knife is buried deep into your stomach. The attacker runs away and now you're alone, bleeding out in the dark. Today, we're breaking down one of the most horrifying ways the human body can collapse, bleeding to death, or as doctors call it, exsanguination. And if you think it's fast and dramatic like in the movies, not even close. The human body doesn't give up easily. It fights, it struggles, it keeps trying to survive until the very last moment. So, what actually happens during those final minutes? That's exactly what we're about to explain. What we're about to explain in today's video. Let's begin. You've just been stabbed in the stomach. The blade went in around 10 centimeters deep. And for the first few seconds, you don't actually feel real pain. That's the terrifying part. Your brain still hasn't fully processed what just happened. What you really feel at first is pressure, like someone slammed into you as hard as possible. Then comes a strange warmth spreading across your shirt. That warmth, it's your blood, and your mind is still trying to understand, did this actually happen? Am I really bleeding? Unfortunately, yes. Now, it all depends on what the knife hit inside your body. Let's say it struck a major artery. That means you're losing blood at a horrifying speed. Around 30 to 40% of your body's blood supply within the first few minutes. That's nearly 2 liters of blood gone almost immediately. At that moment, your body realizes something catastrophic has happened. Your blood pressure drops. Your heart rate spikes, climbing to nearly 130 beats per minute. Why? Because your body is desperately trying to compensate. Your heart is pumping harder and faster to push blood toward the brain and vital organs. But there's a problem. You can't pump blood that's no longer there. It's like flooring the gas pedal in a car with no oil left in the engine. Your entire circulatory system is screaming in panic, but nothing can stop the bleeding. And within less than a minute, your nervous system enters full emergency mode, fight or flight. Your pupils widen. Your breathing becomes rapid and shallow. Your blood vessels tighten in a desperate attempt to maintain pressure. Your skin turns cold and clammy because your body's doing something intelligent. It's pulling blood away from your arms, legs, and skin, and redirecting every last drop toward the organs that matter most for survival. You're still awake, still conscious, and absolutely terrified, because deep inside your brain, a primitive survival instinct already understands the truth. You're dying. Now, let's look at what your body's doing at this exact moment. Your face loses all color, not pale like in the movies, actually grey, because almost no blood is reaching your skin anymore. Your body is redirecting everything toward the brain and the heart. You try pressing your hand against the wound, but your hands are shaking violently. Your vision starts to blur. The world around you begins spinning, and then something strange happens. You feel cold. Not because of the rain, cold from the inside, because blood is what carries heat through the body, and you're running out of it. You're bleeding to death while simultaneously slipping into hypothermia, 2 different deadly conditions happening at the same time. And now, the situation. At this point, nearly half your blood is gone. Your blood pressure has crashed to around 70/40, a catastrophic level. The brain needs a constant supply of oxygen to function, but now it's starving. Neurons begin to malfunction. Your thoughts start breaking apart. You may even forget where you are or what just happened to you in the first place. Some people try to stand up or walk away. The brain keeps sending desperate signals: move, get help, survive. But the legs are already failing, and then something even worse begins to happen. The heart itself starts to break down, because the heart is a muscle too, and it also needs oxygen. But now, there isn't enough left. Your heartbeat becomes dangerously irregular, rapid, chaotic. Sometimes skipping beats entirely, a condition known as arrhythmia. Your heart is literally entering panic mode. And the terrifying irony: the faster your heart beats, the faster you bleed out. The faster your heart beats, the more blood pours out of the wound, so your body is trying to save you. But in reality, it's speeding up your death. At this point, you've entered hemorrhagic shock. This is the moment when the body starts sacrificing everything just to keep the brain alive for a little longer. The kidneys begin shutting down, the liver starts failing, digestion completely stops, even your muscles are barely receiving blood anymore, so if you try to move, you probably can't. But then something strange can happen. You may suddenly feel calm, peaceful, almost comfortable. And no, it's not acceptance. Your brain is starving from lack of oxygen, a condition called hypoxia. And hypoxia can make the brain do incredibly strange things. Some people hallucinate. Some feel an intense sense of euphoria. The brain releases massive amounts of endorphins, one final chemical painkiller before shutdown. At that point, you might not even fully feel the pain anymore. Honestly, it's not just because you're losing blood, it's because your nervous system no longer has the energy to even calm the pen down. Right now, you probably have about 2 or 3 minutes left while still conscious. But what does it actually feel like? At first, pure primal terror. You feel your body shutting down piece by piece. Each breath is harder than the last. Your chest feels heavy, like there's a brick on top of it. Clears throat. Then the confusion begins. You forget why you're even here in the first place. The sequence of events gets all scrambled in your head. Your brain tries to hold on to consciousness, but everything slips away. Some people remain aware until the very last moment. They know they're dying. They feel every second. And honestly, that's the worst scenario. Fully conscious but completely helpless. But most people, at some point, all consciousness slips away from them. Time becomes distorted, seconds turn into hours or the opposite. Some people might see a beam of light that isn't really there or recognize faces of people they know. Others feel like they're floating above their own body. And that's simply your brain desperately holding on. It gets emotionally scrambled too. The experience varies from person to person. Some feel regret. I still have so many things I wanted to do. And others feel nothing at all, just emptiness. By that point, the brain is too exhausted to generate emotions anymore. Now comes the end. Blood pressure collapses completely. Maybe 50/30. The heart is still beating, but barely. About 40 beats per minute. Completely irregular. And the brain starts shutting down piece by piece. The first thing to go is the frontal lobe, your personality. Then your decisions, your sense of self. After that, memory. Then the ability to move. You're still there physically, but you're disappearing. Vision is gone. Maybe some little white dots come and go every now and then. Hearing is the last thing to go. Sounds become distant and muffled, like you're underwater. Someone might be calling your name, you might hear the ambulance siren, but you can no longer answer. You don't feel your heart stopping. You don't feel your last breath. You've already vanished before that. Your body is just catching up to you. And that was the feeling of bleeding to death. One of the ugliest ways the human body can break down. Fast enough to kill you, but slow enough for you to realize exactly what's happening to you. What's strange and somewhat hopeful in all this is that if someone finds you within the first 3 minutes, presses hard on the wound, calls an ambulance and takes good care of you, you actually have a chance to survive. Bleeding is treatable up until a certain point, after which it becomes completely untreatable. That's it. Take care of yourselves and don't walk through dark alleys. These are the obvious things.